Hello, and welcome to this week's slash 2 weeks video blog for the sort of beginning of June. I'm wondering if these I should just sort of maybe rather than try and do weekly ones, just as things happen, maybe just do like much smaller videos and just have them sort of have lots of posts for them on the website. We'll see, it might happen. Just thought it'd be a bit irritating if I did it like that, but we'll see. So I'm just going to mute this so let's get constant beepy beeps. There we go. No more beepy beeps. So let's see, we're 17th of June, so we're 2 weeks into June, and again, I don't know where the time's going. It's crazy just how quick you blink and then it's like gone. It's very, very hot today. The guinea pigs are in the conservatory and they're cooking. It's about 36 degrees in there. They're roasting, so I have to think of bringing them back into the kitchen because it's just, it's very unfair on them. So, but they've had some lettuce and so the water bottles were hot, filled them up again. Actually, the water was warm, so, and that's with a fan on, a tower fan on, and all the windows open and the door open. It's just too much. So we'll see how they go. So the election results. That was funny. There's nothing quite like somebody getting it, getting their sort of just desserts, as it were. Well, I was thinking, as I said at the time zone, the best result, the best sort of we could hope for, rather than the sort of Conservatives being ousted, is that they would end up with less of a majority, and they did. And now they're just being made to look stupid, even more so. Though it was just mental that she came out and just made this speech as if like, nope, it's as if it had all gone her way. I mean, they tried to do that in the election. People would just say things, and just by saying it, then that would make it so. That's true. So just by saying this thing, it makes it true, and it's like, no, it doesn't. And you can play, and it's just so weird because it's like the Conservatives won, but they sort of lost. Labour lost, but sort of won. And it was just sort of, Labour have this massive amount of momentum now, and we've still got to see whether there's going to be a deal with the DUP for the Tories, whether there's going to now, their Queen's speech will get voted through, because I think the majority is only going to be 5 or 6. So just take somebody in their party just not to vote for it, and that's it, it's gone, they don't have it. And then Jeremy Corbyn can put in his version of the Queen's speech, and then you might find that he could be Prime Minister. It throws Brexit into chaos, so much for this strong and stable shite that she's been talking about. She looks weak, and it's like it's taking her time. The people made this joke that she's negotiating with the DUP and they've had to extend the deadline for when the Queen's speech is going to be. It's taken her a week to negotiate with 10 people who speak English, and then she's got to negotiate, for argument's sake, with 27 countries with people speaking many different languages. It's like, that doesn't bode well. So there's lots of things up in the air. And we've also had the E3 game show. Xbox have announced the Xbox One X, which you might find if you say Xbox One X and Xbox One S, they're very similar. If some small child at Christmas just asked Mummy and Daddy for Xbox One X and they got them an Xbox One S, which is half the price of an Xbox One X, you could see some possible disappointed little faces on Christmas morning. For what it is, it looks quite impressive. I think you're looking at mostly it's billing it as a true 4K, which again is not a thing. It's this bullshit speak. It's like super UHD or all this stuff that someone just makes up. You can have 4K, but 4K and true 4K. True 4K isn't a thing. It's just like this jargon that they've made up to make it sound just like true 4K. And what I think they mean by that is it's a native 4K display. Not like with the PS4 Pro, which can do some games in 4K native 60 frames per second, like the new Wipeout. It's like checkerboarding or other sort of under the hood techniques, which it's not showing a 4K all the time, or it's only showing different parts of the screen, which is what checkerboarding is. It shows different parts of the screen in 4K resolution, and it sort of tricks you into thinking the whole thing is in 4K. But as Horizon Zero Dawn does that, but it still looks stunning. Still absolutely stunning. So yes, and it's a powerful machine. It's the good, the GPU, whatever it is, 6.5 terafloppy lobby-ups or whatever it is, of power, 9 gig of VRAM or something, or 12 gig in total, and then so much of it for the games. It shouldn't have a problem with 4K at 30 frames per second. A 4K 60 frames per second, I think that's where you're going to struggle, and you're not going to see as many games with that. There will be some, but for example Destiny 2, it's already confirmed that it's going to be 4K 30 on Xbox One and PS4 Pro. People coming up with this shit, oh, Sony's just holding back the power of the Xbox, but what actually seems to be, if you look at Digital Foundry, it's the CPU bottleneck. The CPU in the Xbox One X isn't actually that much more powerful than the one in the PS4 Pro, and a lot of the rendering for Destiny is CPU bound, so it's just too bad. But you are going to get games that will be better. But I think they didn't promise 60 frames per second. They said we're constantly saying 4K, which was kind of roundabout way. Let's get to the price. The price, $500, £450. To be fair, for what it is, that's not a bad price. You can't really argue for what. I mean, people say, oh, you could build a PC that does that. You'd be paying more to build a PC that can play the game 4K 30 frames per second. You would pay more than £450. That's not, you need at least a £300 graphics card, and you wouldn't be able to get the other bits for that. I don't care how frugal you are. Buying it new, mind, you could buy some bits second hand, but buying it new, you just can't do it for that price. So it's a very good value for what it is. It comes down to, what it really comes down to is games. What we build to play on it. The way it's being marketed is that there are no true exclusives. If it comes out for the Xbox One X, it will be on the Xbox, but it's a Microsoft exclusive, so it will be on PC as well. So you're trying to get this crowd where you want people, but the problem is if you have people who care about graphics, they probably have a PC. So people are playing console for sort of convenience and things, so you're trying to get this market, and I think $450 might be a bit pricey. I mean, it's worth it. I can't argue the value, but I think that the market for what they're trying to advertise to might struggle to get the sort of take up at the beginning. Personally, for me, 400 is my highest I would go on it. I mean, 450 is too much. So 400, yeah. But even then, games, I can't really think of anything specific that's coming out for the Microsoft or Xbox. I could go, oh yeah, I'll get that. It's even like some of the backwards compatible stuff. They still have to patch in resolution bumps. It was weird. It was sort of advertised as if like all your old games will run better. Yes, they will, in the same way that the Pro has the sort of that unlocked thing where it uses the extra bit of power to get the maximum that was allowed in the game. So if you have a game that's supposed to run at 1080p 30 frames per second, the Pro will guarantee it's going to keep at that rather than drop down to 25 or whatever. So the Xbox One X will do that. It will just say, but it's within the confines of what the game's capable of. So if you have an old game that's 1080p 30 frames per second, it's just definitely never going to drop below that. But you're going to have to patch in better resolution, possible better frame rates. Like I think Gears is getting that patched in, but it's not getting a frame per second upgrade because the multiplayer ran at 60 frames per second on Gears of War 4, but the campaign didn't on the console, and it's not going to an Xbox One X. It's going to be 4K resolution, still at 30 frames per second. So you'd argue, it can run 60 frames per second at 4K because that's what it's going to do in the multiplayer. But they're not doing that. It's not going to. So it's almost like similar thing, keeping it on parity with the other console. So I don't know. It remains to be seen. Unless there's like one particular, it's like Microsoft exclusive, like I must have that. Because I've just upgraded my PC, and I mean I don't have the monitor to do it, but quite a lot of the games now I could hit 4K 30 frames per second. So what would I need? What would I need an Xbox for other than the convenience? I've still got the Xbox One S. I've got the controller. The PC can do it at the minute. So even though I'm saying £400, I'm just like, well, what would I be buying it for? I enjoy the PS4, lots of exclusives. I know more people that play on the PS4, so I don't even know if I'll be picking it up anytime soon. Which then brings me nicely onto Sony's conference, which I'll be honest, I thought was a little bit underwhelming. God of War looks amazing, can't wait. Other than that, I was like, there's no drop in the Pro price, which maybe then make it extremely competitive to the Xbox One X. Supposedly there's talk they've held a lot of stuff back for Sony's conference in December, which is fine. But there's just not... like other things like cross-platform Anthem, that looks quite an interesting game. I'm still intrigued by Destiny 2, I'm just... I'm going to pre-order just to play the demo. But then there's things like for Destiny 2 they brought in this guided gameplay thing, so you can, if there's clans and they need an extra person, you can join them and do the raid. But they can only do it in normal difficulty. They just sort of mentioned in passing that, oh yeah, heroic and nightmare difficulties. No, we can't do the matchmaking on that. And it's like, of course you could. You're doing it in that level, so you're just deliberately holding it back. Oh, sorry, I hear somebody calling me, so I'm going to have to do this in 2 parts, so I'm going to have to go and get Izzy. I hear her calling me, so yep, I'll do, so that's part 1 for now. I'll do part 2.